Yo, what's up, guys? Josh here from Chang Fitness, where we help you simplify the process of making gains. So, today I have a really good video. I think this is one I wanted to talk about for a while, and it's basically covering the top 3 mistakes that people make which prevent them from making gains. This sounds like a really trivial topic, but the thing is, if you go to the gym consistently, typically you see the same faces. And the interesting thing is, people usually look the same or they actually look worse since they usually get like fatter. But I'd say the majority of gym goers don't actually improve their physiques, despite investing hours upon hours each week, right? Before I dive into the video, you might be wondering, who are you and why should I listen to you? I'm a professional natural bodybuilder and I've been lifting for 10 plus years. I don't take steroids, I do it all natty. But yeah, pretty much my goal is to help you guys avoid the mistakes that I made when I was earlier in my training career, which definitely robbed me of gains. So if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe my videos and I'll make sure you guys make gains. Diving right in, pretty much the first mistake that people make is that they just lack consistency. This seems really simple, but the truth of the matter is most people will start hitting the gym if they have some pain point, like maybe they just got dumped or maybe the New Year's rolled around. There's going to be some event trigger that causes them to step foot in the gym, but they might quit after like 1 month once, work catches up on them or they just get busy with social activities. And there's really a simple solution to this. It's just to go to the gym 3 to 5 times per week consistently, right? And I get it, this is easier said than done. So my advice is basically to plan out your gym days before the week starts. So for me personally, and what I tell my online fitness clients is every Sunday, just plan out your week. Think about which days you can go to the gym and then try to stick to those days. It helps if you have a buddy you can go with to keep you accountable, but in general, I kind of go to the gym the same days. I'll go like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then sometimes on the weekend. But your days will vary. I think that just going the same time every week builds that automatic habit, which after you bake it into your schedule and get into a routine, it becomes a non-negotiable where you get the workout in even if you have other things going on, right? I remember when I was working really long hours, I would get my workout in before the day started, since sometimes I would get off work at 9, 10 p.m. and at that point I was just too tired. So for me in that situation, I adjusted my schedule and went from working out at night to working out in the morning. Pretty much these little adjustments you're going to make to ensure that you go to the gym 3 to 5 times per week consistently are going to make a huge difference in the long run, right? The truth is, making gains is really simple, and consistency is the number one factor why people just don't make progress, is because they go for a month and they give up. But in reality, muscle building takes time, especially naturally. So if you find that you're spinning your wheels, just ask yourself, are you going consistently week after week, or are you skipping weeks here and there and going on and off? So yeah, that's pretty much the first reason, is lack of consistency. The second reason is not eating enough. So this actually sounds like a really simple reason as well, but the truth of the matter is, if you're not in a caloric surplus where your calories in is greater than your calories out, you're not going to build muscle, because you need to be in that caloric surplus to build muscle. And when you're in a caloric deficit and dieting, then it's just not as efficient. Honestly, when you're dieting as a natural lifter, the goal is just to keep the muscle you built up. But if you're trying to build up muscle, you got to eat in a caloric surplus. And I know some people, they'll go hard for one meal and then get really full. Like maybe you have a spurt of motivation and then you're like, oh shit, I just got a double wrap Chipotle burrito. I'm feeling good. But then as the week goes by, you lose motivation, and then for that week you actually end up losing weight. That's a really common situation for quote unquote hard gainers. I've noticed that people that have a hard time gaining weight, they're just not eating enough consistently. So my quick advice for making sure that you're gaining weight and eating in a caloric surplus is track your calories every day and then weigh yourself every morning. When you weigh yourself, just do it after you go to the bathroom, but before you eat, just basically fasted. And then you want to analyze your trend to see, okay, am I eating enough where my weight is going up week over week? Don't worry too much about the day-to-day fluctuations, just because that's going to depend on how much you drink, liquid volume, food volume, how much you ate, sodium intake, etc. So I'll just focus more on the weekly volume, and then you should see that as you eat more consistently, your weight should go up over time consistently, and then that in turn will help you lift more at the gym. So that's basically mistake number 2, is not eating enough. All right, so the third and final mistake is ego lifting. Now, I would say ego lifting, also bad form. Those two things kind of go hand in hand, but I know for me personally, when I first started working out in college, I wanted to impress people, lift more. It's just a silly thing, right, when you're younger. So you might still be in high school, you might be in college. Ego lifting is cool, I guess, because you're lifting more weights, but the truth of the matter is you're just robbing yourself of gains, since at the end of the day you just want to make sure you look good. How you get there is going to be dependent on how you train, and if you train with bad form just to lift more in the gym to look cool, you're not going to build as much muscle. One quick example here is like, this is from college. You can see here, I'm in the gym, bent over barbell row, 2 plates. Now this isn't terrible form, but like my back is coming up too much and I'm using a lot of momentum to pull the weight. So like these aren't the best reps for hypertrophy, right? But if you can see here, this is a few years later during the quarantine. You can see that I'm getting full range of motion. I'm still using a little bit of body English. I think on rows it's fine, but overall my form is just like way more controlled. So that's one example of form. So pretty much the way you fix ego lifting or bad form is, well, first you gotta just acknowledge that you're not gonna be lifting as much weight initially. You first want to just do the correct form, like really master each movement. When I work out now, I really just think about flexing my muscle and contracting it. For example, if you're doing like a curl, like a curling motion, just think about like flexing your bicep as if you're doing like a bodybuilding pose. I find that helps out a lot, and then you can just use less weight because then typically if you have more control of your like rep speed or tempo, you don't really need as much weight to get good stimulus. And in my opinion, it's actually OP and better, quite frankly, to use less weight because it's just a lot easier to progressively overload week after week. One pro tip that I use for my clients as well as in my own training is to leverage tempo reps. So what exactly are tempo reps? Basically, if you have like a 3-1-3 tempo, that stands for like 3 second down, 1 second pause, 3 second up. To show you guys a quick example for my own training. So you can see right here, I go down slowly. I'm aiming for 3 seconds, but I think it's a little slower. And then a 1 second pause right there. And then for this one, I have no constraint on the way up, but this is like a tempo rep where I'm going slower on the way down and then I'm adding a pause in there, right? So I find that if you do tempo reps with all your movements to start out, it's hard to have bad form because you're trying to control the weight throughout the whole motion. And then I actually find that with tempo reps, you can use less weight and get a better workout. So definitely recommend trying out tempo reps, but that pretty much is mistake number 3, which is ego lifting / bad form. So pretty much if you're able to get all of these, situated where you just don't make these mistakes, lack of consistency, not eating enough, and ego lifting / bad form, you're gonna start making a lot of gains really quickly. And sooner or later, you're gonna, see someone that you haven't seen in a month, and they're gonna just be like, oh shit, have you been hitting the gym? Or, if you actually have like really good genetics or you've been going really hard, some people just start accusing you of steroids, right? Which is the ultimate compliment as a natty. Like, the way you can kind of tell if someone's natty or not is how they react when they get accused of being non-natty. Since for me, whenever someone says I'm not natty, I think that's actually like a really positive sign, since you're basically training in a way that shows it's like disproving people's like beliefs, right, of the natural limit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or you want me to cover any future topics, feel free to comment down below, but hopefully that helps out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.